A long time ago, in the rolling hills of Virginia, there lived a little boy named George Washington. Yes, the very same George Washington who would one day grow up to become the first president of the United States. But this story is not about the great general or the wise leader. This story is about George as a young boy, full of curiosity, energy, and a love for the outdoors. George's father, Mr. Washington, owned a big farm with orchards, animals, and gardens. On the farm grew rows of trees, and one of them was a brand new cherry tree. It was small but strong, and Mr. Washington was very proud of it. He hoped one day it would grow tall and give bright red cherries for the whole family to enjoy. Now, young George had recently been given a shiny little hatchet. A hatchet is like a small axe, perfect for chopping wood. George was excited about his new tool, and like any curious boy, he wanted to try it out. He practiced cutting small branches, sticks, and pieces of firewood. But soon George's eyes fell on the young cherry tree. Its smooth bark seemed perfect for testing his hatchet. Without thinking much, George swung the hatchet once, then again. Chop, chop. The blade cut deep into the tree. After a few strikes, George stepped back and realized what he had done. The bark was cut, and the little tree was badly damaged. George's heart sank. He knew the cherry tree was important to his father, and now it was hurt because of him. Later that day, Mr. Washington went out to the orchard. He saw the cherry tree with its bark cut and branches drooping. He frowned deeply. This was not the work of an accident. Someone had chopped it on purpose. He called George and asked him in a serious voice, "George, do you know who damaged my cherry tree?" George felt a lump in his throat. He could have blamed someone else. He could have said he didn't know, but in that moment, George remembered something his parents always taught him: to tell the truth no matter what. George looked up at his father with wide eyes and said, "Father, I cannot tell a lie. I did it with my little hatchet." Mr. Washington's stern face softened. For a moment, he was quiet. Then he bent down, placed his hand on George's shoulder, and said, "My son, your honesty means more to me than 1,000 cherry trees. Yes, the tree is ruined, but your truthfulness makes me proud. Always remember, George, it is better to lose something than to lose your honor." George felt a wave of relief wash over him. His father was disappointed about the tree, but he was happy about George's honesty. From that day forward, George carried that lesson with him. Truth and honesty are worth more than anything else. As George grew older, that lesson guided him in everything he did. He became a trusted leader, a man people could rely on, and eventually the first president of the United States. People followed him not just because he was strong and wise, but because they knew he was honest. Children, the story of George Washington and the cherry tree is more than just about a boy and his hatchet. It's about the courage it takes to tell the truth, even when it is hard. The moral of the story is simple. Honesty is always the best policy. Telling the truth may not always be easy, but it builds trust, respect, and honor that last a lifetime. So remember, whenever you are tempted to hide the truth, think of young George Washington and his cherry tree. Be brave, be honest, and you will always do the right thing.